All right, guys, welcome to the show. Week 7, Vikings have a big game coming up against the New York Jets. It's going to be awesome. We got a packed show for you guys today, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. Greg, are you ready for the Kirk Cousins Science Fact of the Week?
Backed me up,
You like that?
All right.
Like that?
Did you know, because the moon rotates at the same speed as the Earth, only half of the moon is ever visible from Earth? As a result, astronauts are the only humans to ever see the dark side of the moon with their own 2 eyes.
You like that? You like that?
This has been your Kirk Cousins Science Fact of the Week.
You like that?
I like that a little bit.
Boom.
I like that one.
All right,
That's
man.
good.
We got a special segment coming up, right?
Yes, all right. So we asked you, and you did not disappoint. We asked for you guys to send in your favorite looks likes. We took our top 3. I took the top 3. Danny hasn't heard these. I'm going to read them to Danny. He's going to pick his favorite one for today's winner. And, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, Danny, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, number 1. Daniil Hunter looks like some guy named Jeff who ate the last guy named Daniil Hunter and then changed his name to Daniil Hunter.
That's good.
Mike Zimmer looks like the drill sergeant who has the ability to sneak up on people when they're doing something mischievous and then gives them a harsh glare before scolding them. He seems like a shifty guy. Like he could just appear behind you.
He's kind of like a ninja for sure.
All right, last one. Trey Waynes looks like a Rastafarian voice teacher who often breaks out into song as he gets carried away when demonstrating how to hit a certain note.
Yes.
I can picture Trey Waynes in like bright, colorful tie-dye shirts.
Heck yeah, man.
And like bell bottoms.
He is going to take the
Rick.
Ricky Williams train to Eastern Asia. Like, that's going to happen to the Vikings. Like, oh, you thought you had a second quarterback? Just in, Trey Waynes is singing reggae.
He wants to be a monk.
All right, I got to give the win to Daniil Hunter. I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect. Whoever came up with that one, great idea.
That was Mark 17.5. Thank you,
job.
Mark.
Mark 17.5, well done. That was a good one. All right, keep these coming. We'll probably do another one of these in a few
Yep,
weeks.
keep sending in looks likes, and later down the road, we'll read your looks like and give you a shout out.
Just message us on Facebook so nobody else sees it.
Right.
All right, man, let's get to headlines. So, first headline this week, Mike Hughes goes on injured reserve with a torn ACL.
Sad day, man. Sad day. You hate to see a rookie at any level, a rookie go down like that. You know what I did remember, though, is that Chad Greenway started off his rookie year like this. I think it was even the first preseason game of his career. ACL, right? ACL,
Yep.
out for the year,
Yep.
and he became a diehard Viking, just long-term immortalized in the Minnesota world.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm seeing it as a foreshadowing that Mike Hughes is going to be that kind of a guy. We obviously liked the way he looked his first few games. I think all of us have good promise for him. Really hoping it doesn't screw up his career. I think it's okay as far as this season, just because we're so deep at the cornerback position. We've got guys like Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes. Mackenzie Alexander looked great last week, and we've got a lot of guys that can kind of shift around positions. Javon Curse and or is it J-Ron Curse?
J-Ron, yep.
J-Ron Curse and Iloka.
Yep.
So not too worried. Just really hope he's okay for the future.
100%. Good point about Greenway. That's interesting.
All right, so Daniil Hunter tied with J.J. Watt for most sacks in the league.
Man, who saw that coming? If anyone would have told us that Everson Griffin was going to be out, but we were still going to have the league leader in sacks, 7 weeks into the season, would have been thrilled, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously. I mean, Daniil Hunter has looked like a monster. He has looked, he's always just looked physically just like a freak of nature. Like he shouldn't exist.
It's like an eight Daniil Hunter. That's what it looks like.
That size combined with I think he ran like a 4.5 in the 40-yard dash. I mean,
Just a monster.
it's freakish. So he is just doing an awesome job, and we have Weatherly on the other side, and it's been really nice to see that our defensive line has just not even missed a beat. And like hopefully, because Everson Griffin actually led the league for I want to say like the first half of last year,
Good bit of
before
last year.
kind of tailing off. So let's see if Daniil Hunter can sustain this year long, because towards the end of the season and into the playoffs, like I still want to get that pass rush, So, all right. So another cool statistic: Anthony Barr, of all people, actually leads the league in quarterback pressures among linebackers.
Interesting. We kind of tore Barr apart on this show not too long ago. I don't know. I still maybe it's just from a fan standpoint that we don't see as much in the games, and now we're reading the stats that he's really making a big difference.
Yeah.
it's like you want to see the difference, and I think we were able to see it his first 2 years here. I mean, he really was a stud. I mean, I remember him, I think we were playing Atlanta his first year, and he chased down, it was either Tevin Coleman or it was Freeman, and like stripped him like on an all-out sprint down the field. I mean, he was making pretty remarkable plays, and stats like that, I think they bail him out a little bit. I still want to see a little more out of him. Yeah. But it's nice to know, I guess, that there's kind of an unwritten thing that he's
I think you make a good point that linebacker has got to be one of the hardest positions to evaluate from a fan standpoint. Yeah. Like, we do not know what's going on. Like, he got torched against the Rams, but he got schemed into a situation where he's covering receivers 40 yards downfield.
Right.
Like,
he's trying to keep up with Cooper Kupp, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, Danny. Last headline here. NFC North update. Bears fall to Miami. And the filthy Packers win a close game against San Francisco.
Crazy, man. Like, honestly, this year has just been bananas. I mean, we said it on the show several times. The Bears, not convinced that we have to worry about them yet. That defense is legit for sure. But Mitchell Trubisky and the offense, just a lot of question marks. And the fact that they go on the road to Miami and just look, not very good. And honestly, they tried their best. Miami tried their best to blow it. You had Kenyon Drake fumbling the ball on the 1-inch line in overtime.
Oh my goodness!
And yet the Bears couldn't even take that gift and escape with the tie. So still not too worried about the Bears. It's gonna be interesting when we play them. The Packers, man, stayed up late to watch that game. I know you did too, and I was really excited because I honestly thought they were gonna lose. They just looked bad, except for Aaron Rodgers as always. And then of course he pulls some magic, drives down the field at the end of the game, gets a very fortunate illegal contact or defensive holding call or something to sustain the game-winning drive. Typical Packers stuff, man. What are you going to do? But I'm not scared of the Packers either. I think this division is ours for the taking.
Wide open, man.
All right, cool, man. Good stuff. All right, so our dear Uncle Louie has written into the show yet again. I can't wait to hear what he has to say this week. Dearest nephew, seasons may come and seasons may go, but one thing remains constant. The sun rises and the sun sets, but one thing never changes.
This is Kirk Cousins?
The tide comes in and the tide recedes, but one single solitary fact remains. The Vikings will always, always disappoint you. It might be in week 1. It might be week 10. It might be the NFC Championship game. It might even be the Super Bowl. But always, no matter what, the Viking season will end with a loss. Never forget this. Love, Uncle Louie. He was feeling poetic this week, man.
Has there been... I'm sure there's been years where it's ended with a win, or we just didn't make the playoffs.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
Screw you, Uncle Louie.
Take that, Uncle Louie. Watch us go back and look, and every single Viking season ever has ended with a loss.
Never ended with a win. We need to find that. We're going to bring you that stat next week.
Excellent.
All right, so now we've given you a week off, Kirk Cousins, but now we're back on your tail. This is the Chronicles of Kirk. All right, we follow around Kirk Cousins. What is he doing outside of football? We often ask this question. He often gives us a lot of juicy things to talk about elsewhere than the fact that he's an amazing NFL quarterback, which he seems to forget. So this week, it started in the game almost, right? With his lazy arm dance. He talked about it in the press conference on how he's not a good dancer and that it was just an awkward moment for him. He was Facebook Living, I believe, walking off of the field. So he took his helmet off, shook the hand of the other quarterback, walked off the field Facebook Living while people were running around with cameras.
He didn't.
And he's talking to himself. Yeah, you can find this online.
Oh,
he's
my
like, I'm here at the middle of the state. Like, he's just such an... I swear there are little aliens inside of Kirk Cousins just operating a machine. And it's really, they're just like, this is crazy. Look, because he doesn't realize that he's an NFL quarterback. I mean, you ask Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's like, business. Aaron Rodgers, business. Drew Brees, business. Kirk Cousins is just yeah, I run a podcast, and also I'm a football player. Because so he has his podcast too, and he's got Adam Thielen come on, and it's Tom Compton, right?
Yep,
Tom Compton
yep.
and Adam Thielen. Who Tom Compton's his number one nerd buddy on the team. They're constantly just talking about what a fortnight is, and how long people are playing the game Fortnite. And Kirk Cousins is figuring out what Fortnite means and using it in phraseology.
And he's really, really proud to know that a fortnight is 2 weeks.
So he had them on the show right afterwards, and I just listened to the beginning, and he's like, "So you guys had a big win this week? Like, you dude, you're a part of that team.
Like, you're the quarterback." Can you just picture him like throwing a touchdown pass to Adam Thielen, and then like as he's like running down the field to celebrate, he's like, Adam, you want to be on my podcast this week? Like, we should really totally talk about this on my podcast. He's like fishing for podcast guests during the NFL football game.
Oh, Kirk, we hope your podcast is awesome and successful. We also hope you throw a bunch more touchdowns for the Minnesota Vikings.
Dude, as long as he keeps throwing touchdowns, he can do whatever the heck he wants, man.
That's the Chronicles of Kirk.
Boom, that was a good one this week, man. All right, let's get to it. The New York Jets. So can the Vikings go on the road and take our winning streak to 3 games? It's a big game. Next week we have the Saints, so this is like a really good chance to go into that game with some momentum. What are your thoughts on the Jets?
We're gonna beat the Jets. We're gonna beat the Jets on the road. I think they're a better team than their losses have led on. Just because, I mean, they kind of strike me as like a New York Giants, where it's just maybe not this year, but like the typical New York Giants, where even when they win the Super Bowl, you're like, what the heck is this team? They've had some impressive displays. Last couple weeks, put up a lot of points. Last week, 40-something points against a solid defense. So they have the ability to really air it out, to put points on the board. Their defense is a little stingy. Like they play decent defense against the teams that they've beat. But the games that they lose, I mean, they don't look good at all. When they lost to the Browns, they looked horrible.
It does seem like the last couple of weeks they've gotten their offense on track.
Yeah.
And Darnold has looked better. And, they put up 42 last week, and then I think 34 points the week before that. They beat the Broncos 34-16. So they're rolling a little bit. I think that game was in Denver, actually. I could be wrong about that.
It was in Denver.
But so they're rolling a little bit. You know, and like you said, the defense is solid. But you know what? This is a game that the Minnesota Vikings should win, and I'm with you. I think they will win. You know, it's against a rookie quarterback, and that's kind of the biggest thing is our defense. If we can keep rolling the way we have been the last couple weeks, I think we should be able to make Sam Darnold miserable and win the game. So let's get to predictions. Give me a score prediction.
All right, so score-wise, I'm going 27-17. I think we hold them to a low score.
27-17. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go with a Vikes win on this one as well. I think for whatever reason, it's going to be a low-scoring game all the way around. I think 17-7 is going to be final score. So defense finally shows up and holds people to single digits. So, Greg, if we lose the game, what's the one thing that could cause us to lose this game?
If we're losing this game, I'm going to say Sam Darnold, man. He has the ability. People talk him up a lot, and I really don't like that about him yet, just because I hate talking up rookies when they're this young. But he's shown some signs, obviously, last week, like throwing against a good pass rush, which is kind of impressive for a younger guy. But he's not consistent at all. I mean, he looks bad in the games that he's bad, and he looks good in the games that he's good. It's that simple. So if he does have a good game, he has the ability to go off for that many points, and it's just going to be dependent on if our offense can keep up with that. But if we're going to lose, that's how it's going to be. He's going to outscore our offense for sure. If we win, why is that? What's the one thing we have to do to win this game?
One thing we have to do to win, I think it's the same thing that it often comes down to with this Vikings team, which is our offensive line. If we can give Kirk Cousins time to throw, and if we can open up some creases for Latavius Murray and hopefully Dalvin Cook, although I haven't heard, I don't think he's going to be back. But if the line shows up, create some time for Kirk Cousins, create some holes for Latavius Murray, man, I don't think the Jets can stop us, because at that point we'll possess the ball for good periods of time. We'll get some nice long drives together. We'll put up points, and I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be able to, keep up in a shootout. You know, if we get held to like 10 points, maybe he can put up 13 points. But if we crack 20 points, I don't see any way the Jets offense can match that. So as long as the line shows up, I think we're in good shape. I think we're going to get a win.
Awesome. Let's hope so.
Sweet, man. All right. Well, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Let's go Vikes.
Go Vikings.